thumbnail kind of fits my movement. As so two people jaywalk back behind me. So what this is here, switch over to my good camera. Zoom. There's a light. Here I am. There's a light. I'm about smack in the middle of these two lights here. And so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna compare jaywalking to what's the word? Yeah, we're gonna compare jaywalking to catching the light. So I'm about smack in the middle here. It's about the same distance to these two lights here. So we're gonna watch. I'm not gonna actually jaywalk. No. There are a few places where I jaywalk, and I will show you guys that in a bit. But I'm going to just, what's the word? So we're just going to watch the street here. It's about 1:07 on the minute timer. Keep in mind that we're just watching the street to see when there would be a good jaywalk section, if we think it's going to be safe enough, and then compare it to the time walking, which, yeah, actually jaywalking is faster, but this is just a comparison to show you how not much longer it is for us. It is like, here, if I ran, I could make that. There's some cars there, and there's a horde of cars coming this way. So, I could have made that. I don't want to risk my life, though. You never know. I mean, there's a street right there. Somebody could just all of a sudden pull out of that street really fast and not see you. There's a street back there a little ways. Anybody pull out of the driveway a little ways here. And I think it is well worth your time to walk to a light. Like, no joke. It is well worth your time to walk. Sure, it does take a little bit longer, as we'll demonstrate here. And we're going to say you were going across the street to Cutler's, right in the middle there, or somewhere along this way. What is that P place? I don't know. It looks like the Patreon P to me, but then I'm sure it's not, because there's that Prisma paint. Here we are waiting for this car. And, you know, there were some opportunities for me to go there. It looked like it was kind of waiting for me, but I'm just like extra cautious and paranoid, especially after being smacked 2 times. Once on a bicycle, and twice almost on the bike, and then the other time, very mild bump. If you guys want more details on those stories, then you can go check out my Let's Talk on what the world needs to do, which is slow down, okay? I'm gonna refrain myself from that little rant, but yeah, we've been going for 2 minutes, about 2.5 minutes here, and I'm gonna guesstimate you're in a little bit faster if you're a little bit braver, and you cross the street where the guy was kind of waiting. Instead of otherwise, ooh, there's some black crows up there, waiting at the shake makers for somebody to drop a Frenchy fry, because they're hungry. Either that, or they're waiting to chase down other birds, because crows will chase down other birds. They are a lot more vicious than I realized, but it makes sense, because, I mean, witches, they have crows as their pets. Yep. I don't want this to be super boring, but I mean, this is what it is. Literally me walking down to a light, and I actually would have turned back up there because it saves 2 minutes. Here we go. We got a car coming out of the parking lot here, and trying not to look like I'm, you know, doing anything, but yeah, nope. I think they knew that I was filming. They smiled at me, but you see that? They just pulled right on out. You're supposed to stop before this groove right here and let the pedestrian walk on by, but they just pulled forward and went. And it gets annoying if there's, like, especially at Smith's, long stack of cars that just build up, and oh my goodness, going behind them is kind of dangerous, because then you can't always see if there's a car on the other side of this line of cars turning into Smith's when you're going around them on your bike, and it's a horrible mess. No. Just, You're supposed to stop when you see pedestrians. Pedestrians have the right of way because they're a lot less vulnerable. They're a lot more vulnerable than anybody sitting in a car or has a frame to give them some protection. Pedestrians have the right of way. For a second there I smelled tacos and it smelled good. They have the right of way unless, of course, you're, what's the word? Unless, of course, no. There's no unless, of course, sorry. It's just pedestrians have the right of way. Just period, okay? So, 6 minutes, 30 seconds. We're, coming on about 7 minutes here. We need to take off 2. So, we'll say 7 minus 2 is going to be 5, so about what I was expecting. I've got a little ways to go to the end of the light here, but it's about 5 minutes. We'll do something here to make it nope, sorry. There you go, some 8mm. It's the 1980s, and Grandma's filming a home movie of his hometown. There you go. So 7:36. So it's about 8 minutes. So 6 minutes. And you can walk faster than I am. Okay, I'm a little bit tired because I've been standing around at work for a large chunk of the day, but you can definitely walk faster. Maybe do a little bit of running if you have to, but I think it's a lot safer than risking your life. I mean, look at it this way, like, I was going to do one back up there where people were jaywalking. Right across the street is the dollar store. I walked across the street to a Mexican market, see if they had some chips get them for my coworker, who was a little bit hungry, but, there we go, close the menu there. So, yeah, it's about 6 minutes for me. I've gone faster, you can walk faster. So now, turn the camera back on. Get a muffler! Get a muffler. And if you don't have, if that's a muffler already on that car, then drive something else and save it for the racetrack. I like my ears, thank you very much. Wow. Okay, I just barely noticed there's some grain on here, which I like this look. I might do Let's Talk like this from now on. This is cool. So yeah, it's about, so we're running about 7 minutes to the light. You can go faster. So think about 5-7 minutes, get yourself to the light and back in this scenario. Muffler, please. But again, there are other scenarios where it might take a little bit longer. But even then, think about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, safely cross the street, and have so you spend 5-10 minutes walking to the light, where you will get, I'm going to say you will get a 75% increase in how safe it is for you to cross the street. Okay? So you take that 75% increase, you cross the street safely, and because you're a little bit hungry and you're going to the dollar store, which is just straight across the street from you, you're being safe going to the dollar store because you're a little bit hungry, you don't have a lot of money, and so you're just going to get some chips and a soda. Great. You can do that, and you can be safe. It smells like pizza. I don't know what pizza's around here. There's pizza that way. but it could be $5 pizza. I know it's not Lucy's. Lucy's Pizza is not open on Sunday, and I love that. Thank you, Lucy's. But yeah, anyways, and I used to work at Lucy's, partly why I love it. But the owners are Mormon. So anyways, what I was saying, you know, you can take that safety, a little bit of extra time, or you can be a little bit risky, and then one of those times it could come and hit you, and a $1,000 medical bill for getting smacked in a car. You could be dead. And I'm going to say I fully recognize that this is kind of one of those things where you don't, like, realize it and recognize it. There are some things in life where, until it happened to me, I wasn't even thinking about it, I didn't realize about it. You know, I was a lot less paranoid at streets until I got smacked on my bike, and then almost smacked on my bike, and then smacked with my legs. I'm just very, very cautious. Like, if I see a car on the street corner, unless they are specifically looking me in the eye and waving me to cross the street, then I'm just gonna, even if they're staying back a couple of inches, but they're not like giving me the eye contact, which you should do, give them eye contact, let them know that you see them, and wave them across the street. Say, hey, you can cross. Like, oh, here we go. Here we go. Watch this. Oh my goodness. He's on his phone. No, and look, this car's coming. I'm crossing, okay, so they're slowing down. But if I was back there, I can guarantee you that they would have slowed down and, not slowed down, but they would have just pulled up to actually exit the parking lot. Oh, here's another chance to show you guys. I need to hold this up higher. Man, that just looks so cool. Especially how that building doesn't look too new. That's the Orem City building. You know, the courthouse is back in there somewhere behind it. Yeah, libraries around here. I'm a Smith's. So, yeah. It's a lot better, but I do recognize that this is one of those things where until it happens, it's kind of like, oh, I'm not in danger of it, you know, and that's the other thing, too. I mean, don't be a bad driver so that you don't endanger other people on the street. Really good idea. Be the best driver that you can possibly be. Follow all the traffic laws, but sad part is it's also important to realize that, I mean, it doesn't matter how good of a driver you are, it's because they're a bad driver, it gives a chance that you could get into a wreck too. But seriously, don't. So, yeah. Like I said, there are a few places where I jaywalk, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut here, and then I'm going to come back with part 2 and just show you an example of a place that I have jaywalked in the past and that I might do again. The way the circumstances are, I feel a lot more comfortable jaywalking there, and I'll explain why when we're there. But for the most part, don't jaywalk. There are a few instances, and I'll show you guys that. So, yep. I'll wait for part 2 when I get there.